Yeah, well, what I'm saying is not necessarily that I agree with the idea that being certified in something necessarily makes somebody better at something than somebody who doesn't have any such certification. However, I'm just like basically talking about the way the world operates. Like, for example, a lot of places they won't even consider somebody who doesn't have a college degree, even if
Right.
that person might still be very smart and they might be able to do the job just fine. But there are certain requirements that a lot of employers have. Like sometimes they require a certain amount of job experience, and if somebody doesn't have that experience, then they might not be considered. However, they even if somebody, for example, hasn't worked in an office for 2 years or so, maybe they've used a lot of kind of office programs in their spare time or something, so they would know how to do the job. However, they just haven't worked in an actual office. So, just for
Hmm.
something like that, somebody could be disqualified from a job, and
Yeah,
it's
you're
sad, but
just saying that you've accepted that tends to be something that people do.
yeah,
Yeah, well, that I totally agree. I mean, I I think for better or for worse, there are certain things that aren't going to change. As
mm,
Bruce Hornsby said, that's just the way it is.
yeah,
Um, so there are things like that. I think there probably are things where they can be changed depending on who's there to influence that.
mm,
But change always takes time. I think probably anything that really changes fast is not something that's all that important. Probably,
yeah.
like fashion trends and things like that.
Yeah, I don't really like to follow fashion trends. I don't think of it as being something that I just like to wear what I wear.
Yeah, totally get you on that one. I mean, there definitely are clothes I think look cool, but
Yeah.
I don't look at it as that I have to keep up with anybody else's idea of what's cool. It's if I think it looks cool, then that's good enough for me.
Hmm.
And I don't care how much. I don't look at it as, well, this person spent $500 on a suit and this person spent $200, so the $500 suit must be better. Not necessarily. It depends on what you're looking for in a suit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this thing. Sorry, I'm just trying to log into something that I'm using for work, and it's telling me my password is wrong. I'm upset.
Well, I can leave you two alone if you want me to. So
No, it's okay. Because again, I like to at least try to multitask. And right now, I'm not doing anything really intensive, so it's not exactly taking my attention away. I just got a little frustrated, but I'll try it again
hmm
later. I'll close it.
okay. Well, is there anything else in particular that you want to talk about?
Um, I'm not really sure because I didn't really think of anything in advance that I wanted to speak of. However, I suppose, even though this doesn't have much to do with type per se, although it might lead to some discussion that does have to do with it. I would like to ask, what is it like living in Texas, and what approximate area of Texas do you live in?
Well, the second question is easier to answer. I live in, I guess, what's called southeast central Texas. Yeah, when you have a state as big as Texas, there's a whole lot of different regions that people assign. But yeah, I actually we're right on kind of on the edge between the area of Texas that has like that's on the plains, so to speak, in terms of the climate and whatever they call geography, and then to the east of us is pine forest. So we're kind of like right at the edge of the plains before you go further east and you get into the foresty ranges. So
That's interesting how you define it by the type of land, because I would have, if I was describing where I lived, used instead cities to describe it.
well, the city I live in is College Station, which is probably most known for having Texas A&M University in it. Um, and it's about halfway between Austin and Houston. So
Oh, okay.
Austin's
Yeah,
the
it's on the map.
capital. Um,
Mhm.
Houston's
Um,
the largest city in Texas, but not the largest metropolitan area because Dallas and Fort Worth and that area form an even bigger metro area. But
Okay.
just as a single city, Houston's the largest, and Austin is the capital. So we're kind of, we're still pretty much in the middle of things, and have grown tremendously since we moved here when I was 6 years old. College Station is, I mean, grown hugely since then. I don't know what the actual population was when we moved here, but I know just in the time that I paid attention to population signs, like census signs, when I first started to do any driving where I would notice the signs, College Station had a population of 52,000 something, and we're now somewhere around 90,000, I think. So by the
Wow.
time they do the next census, we'll have actually doubled in population since I started paying attention. And of course,
Jeez.
that's just permanent population. It doesn't even include the fact that we have like 40,000 plus students here most of the year.
Mm.
So the reality is the College Station and Bryan area has over 200,000 people in it, give or take a few any given time during the school year.
Oh, I think it's probably because people want to be able to live near the big cities without the cost.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's why I'm still here. There's obviously factors that are into it, like when I have my son, and his mother is nearby, so there's kind of a factor of not wanting to kind of mess with things, and uh, the schools are good here, and compared to a lot of other places, and it's relatively crime is low compared to a lot of places, so there's a lot of benefits that are kind of small town like, but then there's also quite a few things to do where it's like a larger city. So it really is in a lot of ways the best of both worlds. And it doesn't mean that I don't have plenty of things I can complain about, like summers being over 100 degrees and things like that. um, Traffic on
Yeah,
football game
yeah.
weekends
I
like
don't think I've
this
ever lived
weekend.
in the South. Mm.
So, but
Yeah,
the
like
other
right now,
question,
you, okay. Yeah, what?
I'm not sure
Oh,
how to
sorry,
answer as
but I
far
used
as like what's it like living in Texas? Like what is it that you want to know about that?
Oh, I don't know, but when I looked at the Google Maps right now, I checked like how far College Station is from Austin and Houston. It's far. It's like 2 hours each way. I mean, between the two cities.
Yeah, well, it's like I was saying earlier. Texas is a big state, so what's close to us is far to somebody who's used to things being a lot closer. So,
Yeah, like
um,
I even think that driving 5 minutes to buy groceries is a lot.
yeah, well, that I don't even actually have to do because I have a grocery store where I can walk there in 5 minutes. So,
Yeah, I can
and
walk around
and
15.
and my office where I work is usually about a 5 minute drive. Depends on the traffic, exactly what time of day and what's going on. But it
Oh,
probably no more than 10 minutes unless there's some kind of severe construction or a wreck or something.
yeah, that's good.
So yeah, it's definitely better than a lot of some place like Houston, for instance, where they regularly have like hour and a half to 2 hour commutes to work in the morning. So I'm glad I don't have to worry about anything like that.
Yeah, that's good. Living in New Jersey in certain parts, especially further up north, there can be a lot of traffic. Like, especially when I used to drive to my student teaching every morning, there would be so much traffic, and once you hit a certain part of the turnpike, because everybody else is going to work at that same time, and most people are probably driving to New York or maybe to Hoboken or something. I don't even understand why people drive to New York. It doesn't make any sense to me because it's just a lot easier to take a bus and it probably costs about the same or maybe even less once you factor in gas and tolls.
Yeah, it's kind of like Yogi Berra said. He said nobody goes there anymore because it's too crowded. It's like you say, well, I don't understand why anybody drives there, but then the reason that people don't drive there as much is because there's too much traffic, which means somebody is driving there. So it's like a circle. But yeah, I understand. Like, and when I've gone um, vacations, certain places, like I know a lot of people like to rent a car before they do stuff, and I've never done that. I've always looked at it as um, I don't want to go to a place where I would have to rent a car to do what I want to do. I'd want to go, for instance, like. I've been to Disney World a few times, and they just have the Disney buses that go in between everything, and so I've never felt like I needed to, have a car to do anything else because I figure if I'm at Disney World, then I'm there to go to Disney World. I'm not going to be, oh, well, I think I'll drive to some golf course while I'm here. I mean, there's
Yeah,
golf courses everywhere. I mean, why would you go to Disney World to go play golf? So there's things like that but people do it. So whatever floats your boat.
yeah, I guess. I don't understand it either. Right now I'm looking at a picture of corgis.
Picture of what?
Corgis, it's a type of dog.
Oh, okay. So was there anything else specific you wanted to know about Texas? Because I didn't really know quite how to answer your question about what it's like to live here. So
How's the government there?
the government, an example to the world. Well, not entirely, but um, we have shown the rest of the country, whether they want to listen or not, that you can have a economy that functions very well and people that prosper and have high employment and without ridiculously high taxes and ridiculously high government spending. So we kind of we don't have a state income tax, and um,
Wow.
we manage to still have roads that are paved and wonderful stuff like that. And it's not perfect. No government is. But I think the best thing about Texas government is like I said, that too many other states that have tried to tax their way to prosperity, that their answer when the economy is bad is that somehow raising taxes is going to solve that, or and continuing to find new things to tax. Um,
Hmm.
you know, there are still some things that obviously are taxed. We still have sales taxes and gasoline taxes and things like that. So it's not that the state is tax free or anything, but it's to me it's a whole lot better to tax people on what they purchase rather than what their income is, because then it's almost like you're punishing people for making more money, and trying to rise up in whatever career ladder that they happen to be part of. I've always thought it was kind of backwards to look at it as, oh, well, you make more money now, well, let's take more of it. That's always seemed kind of silly to me.
I guess as long as it's the same percentage, though, I don't think I can complain. However, I was thinking about with my substitute teaching job. Maybe it's because my last check was really small since I had only done one day, actually half a day during that pay period. But they only took 6% of my paycheck in tax for that job. Whereas at my retail job, maybe it's because I make more money there, but they take away 18 to 20% of my paycheck, and I don't even make that much money there at all. And especially the federal tax that gets taken from my check is ridiculous.
Yep. Well, that's those huge entitlement programs that the politicians don't want to touch.
The reason why I don't want to start the videos and put them on my own YouTube channel is because I want to be found by people on my own channel at least.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that stuff before, but the way I look at it now, I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm me. I'm out there for people to see whatever, and I don't really worry about it.
I
It's
mean, my
like,
problem is that employers, potential employers, are so judgmental.
yeah, I've heard that from people, and I guess it's just my own experience that I've never experienced anything with that because the employers that I've had, I guess maybe it's just one of those things of because I've been in the same company for so long, that even though I have had plenty of times in my life before that where I was looking for jobs, um, it was before the internet is what it is today. So the idea to me of that employers would be like watching YouTube videos to try to find out about potential employees is kind of funny to me. But I'm willing, I can still understand that somebody might actually do that. It seems very strange, but and the company I work for is definitely not, I would say, in an advanced age when it comes to things like that. So we do have now security cameras at all of our restaurants that can be viewed online if you have the proper access and things like that. But it's still not a like our job listings and things like that are still done in like the newspaper and stuff. We did like one time where we actually used an online service, and didn't yield very good results, so we haven't used it since then. So it's very much not with the times kind of way of doing things, but it's still been effective. So to me, it shows that it's not necessarily always necessary to do that sort of stuff. But
I was just thinking about how at my retail job, sometimes we have people ask if we're hiring, and the times that we are hiring, we tell them, yeah, sure, just go on our website and you can do the application there. But some people, they ask if we have a paper application, we told them, no, it's all online. And I don't know, there was a customer who, for some reason, I got the idea that she didn't have a computer. So I just told her, if you don't have a computer, you could just use the one at the public library. Because I remember one time I had a customer who I asked if she wanted to sign up for our email service so she could get a coupon that she could use next time. And then she went on a rant for a whole 2 minutes or so about how that's discrimination against people who don't have a computer. But I realized a lot of companies, they do things like this. They make it semi-exclusive for a reason, because I guess they don't want everybody to have the promotion. I don't know. But I was just thinking about when I had deleted my Facebook and Twitter. So suddenly there were all these offers that I couldn't get, but I didn't complain because I did not want to have a Facebook.
hmm.
I mean, now I have one again, but it's I don't really have friends on there. I just use it to sign up for special offers.
Yeah, I never keep up with all that kind of stuff, and half the offers you see online are scams anyway. So probably more
Yeah.
than half. Because I know the company I work for, the people will bring us things that are fake deals all the time because some stupid website put it up there. And it takes me, if I look at the site, it takes me about 3 seconds to figure out like that it's a scam. But obviously, some people are not exactly as good at that.
I see. Interesting. Hmm. Oh, was there anything that you wanted to ask me?
Um, well, I guess the only thing would just be, when I talked earlier about kind of my impressions about your personality type, and based on what you said, did you have any more thoughts on what I said about that, or
Eh,
um,
not quite. I
okay?
don't know. Right now, I just don't really feel like talking. I guess it's because I don't know. I've just been kind of too lazy to think today, perhaps.
All right, well, I can let you go. I've got a couple other things to do anyway, including one other person that said she would chat with me.
Okay.
I can let her know I can do that as well.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, maybe it's because I did a video before. That would talk.
Yeah, I understand. You get to a point where you're talked out. I mean, I
Yeah,
usually don't, but I know some people can.
maybe it's the introvert thing.
It could be. I think when it comes to conversations, that's the area where I definitely don't feel like an introvert because I can talk till 4 in the morning if I'm talking with somebody who we have interesting things to talk about.
No. I think I'll just do my Sudoku puzzles right now because my grandfather who lives with me he always does crossword puzzles, and so we do puzzles together.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for chatting with me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you are welcome, Fat Bozo.
All right. And maybe we'll talk down the road.
Yeah, sounds like a nice idea.
All right.
Bye bye.